Ah, he's wearing another tank top. That means I got another summer list for you guys. We already talked about my top 10 summer designer fragrances, but some people like to be a little more creative and expressive with their fragrance choices. That's why I'm now doing my top 10 niche fragrances for the summer. These are all fragrances in my collection that I own, that I enjoy when the warm weather is happening. Number 10, MEFISTO from the Casamorati line of XERJOFF. MEFISTO opens with a beautiful bergamot and grapefruit opening. The citrus opening is quickly joined by a floral mid of lavender, a little bit of iris, and some rose. Dry down apparently is woody, but I just get some nice clean musk. Yes, MEFISTO does smell quite a bit like Creed's Silver Mountain Water, but this one has a little more of a floral component. It's a little bit sweeter. Silver Mountain Water has a contemporary metallic style. MEFISTO is the better summer choice for me, especially early summer, very late spring. The reason it's number 10 is because it's not necessarily a fragrance that I would wear when it's really hot outside. And guess what? It gets pretty hot in the summer. You can wear it, I just don't tend to wear florals when it's like 40 degrees Celsius. Number 10, one of the three prime evils, MEFISTO. Diablo 2 reference. That was a Diablo 2 reference. Number 9 is the gorgeous Imitation Man by AMOUAGE. Currently one of my favorite fragrances, my girlfriend's #1 favorite fragrance on me. The notes in here are not summer friendly. Leather, rose, orris root, patchouli, pepper, even violet. The way this comes together is a very clean, interesting, leathery fragrance. Yet it's so clean that it does have freshness to it. I find Imitation Man to be one of the most versatile fragrances by AMOUAGE. It's so versatile that I have been wearing this all summer long, and it has been so nice, so good. This entry is very similar to my L'Homme Ultime pick in my designer list. Both fragrances do work in the summer, they're not optimized for summer. And number 9, my baby. Number 8, Colonia by AQUA de Parma. I could have blindly picked almost any AQUA de Parma fragrance in my collection, but I decided to go with the original Colonia. It has existed for 100 years. It is a classic citrus fragrance with lavender, lemon verbena, and some rosemary, and the dry down is a clean Mediterranean vetiver. Colonia is one of those fragrances that you can get as a gift for all your groomsmen at your wedding, especially if it's a summer wedding. This thing is so versatile, but works so well in the warm weather. It's an invigorating fragrance that'll really start your day on a good note, but it's masculine enough that you won't feel like you're just wearing Lemon Pledge or something. The only reason it's not higher on this list is because it's had 100 years to be worn by many dudes. So it's not totally unique. It is a bit classic, it's not necessarily youthful, but it's still one of the best. And that was Colonia. Number 7, my second AMOUAGE on this list is Beach Hut Man. Don't let the name fool you. This is not a beachy fragrance. It's not an aquatic, it doesn't have citrus. Beach Hut Man is mainly a mint fragrance that has a little bit of orange blossom and clean vetiver. Very masculine, a lot of summery green notes, but it's still green nonetheless. Another extremely versatile AMOUAGE fragrance, but unlike Imitation Man, Beach Hut is designed for warmer weather. Extremely masculine, still a unique style of freshness, and very good performance. This stuff radiates off my skin for 3 hours, and I can still easily detect it off my skin after about 8 or 9 hours. It's number 7 though because it's not for everybody. It's well composed, but a little bit unusual and not necessarily what you might expect with the name Beach Hut Man. Number 7, Beach Hut Man. Just missing the top 5 is Aqua Vitae Forte by MFK at number 6. This is a citrus fragrance with a prominent note of ylang. Not one ylang, but 2. Aqua Vitae Forte is a combination of lemon, orange blossom, that ylang, but there's also a subtle spiciness with cardamom and cinnamon. It is a fresh fragrance that evolves and has a lot of very interesting transitions. Even though it has a strong floral undertone to it, AQUA VITAE FORTE screams summer to me. It has that lovely, slightly spicy citrus that gives it a lot of depth and a lot of character. It's only number 6 though because the floral component may turn some dudes off. Number 6, AQUA VITAE FORTE. Just making it into the top 5 is Neo by XERJOFF. Currently the best bergamot fragrance in my collection. No, I'm not team bergamot 22. Neo uses a very high quality bergamot neroli combination. From start to finish, it smells extremely good, extremely natural, and a big compliment getting fragrance too, for both men and women. Of all the fragrances I've tried with this style, Neo performs the best. Longevity wise, 7-8 hours, which is a lot. It'll be at an arm's length for about 2.5 hours, and then it starts noticeably getting closer to my skin. But it's only number 5 because for something this simple, albeit the best of its kind, it's priced very, very high. And let's be honest, you're not hard-pressed to find a pretty good bergamot neroli fragrance these days. That was Neo. At number 4 from the House of Creed, obviously, MILLESIME IMPERIAL. MILLESIME IMPERIAL has a heavy dose of the signature Creed ambergris, which gives it a sea salt accord. It smells like you're on a boat and you're smelling the water, but you also have a big bowl of watermelon next to you and catching whiffs of that. When combined with the sea saltiness, the fruitiness gives it a tropical fruit type of feel. You feel like you're on vacation, but you got money. There are no fragrances quite like MILLESIME IMPERIAL, unless you're a fragrance that's trying to be MILLESIME IMPERIAL. But it's only number 4 because sadly, I don't get amazing performance with this. If I apply it on my skin, which is ideal for this one, I only get about 5 hours of noticeable performance. But if I spray my clothes, it'll last the day. Just sad that I'd have to resort to that on a fragrance that's this pricey. At number 4, MILLESIME IMPERIAL. At number 3, we got a banger, the king, Creed AVENTUS. Now this is a truly versatile fragrance. Not only does it work in the summer and in the winter, it works very well in the summer and in the winter. Creed AVENTUS is one of the pinnacles of masculine fragrances. It's a little bit smoky and has some edge to it, but it's inviting and compliment getting with its use of pineapple, vanilla, and clean musk. Considering its versatility and its ability to work well in warm weather, the performance, it's so good. You can still get compliments from people 6 feet away 4 hours into wearing this. Longevity on my skin is a good 10 to 12 hours. Projection, like I said, 4, sometimes 5, depending on how many sprays you go. It's only number 3 though, because even outside of our fragrance community, Creed AVENTUS is getting more and more popular, and it doesn't have the uniqueness that it once did. But that's not this guy's fault. And number 3, the king. At number 2, believe it or not, Bleecker Street by Bond Number 9. While most people will say this is a great spring fragrance, I first wore this in the hottest week of summer. I had a 30ml decant that was given to me while I purchased Green Irish Tweed, and I didn't even wear GIT. I just was wearing the crap out of this. It kind of reminds me of a lush green lawn that has the sprinkler going. It has that really clean, fresh, watery quality to it. The fragrance also smells of fresh blueberries, which is really, really unique. There aren't many fragrances that use blueberry specifically, and it's so prevalent in this. Bleecker Street is a joy to wear when my skin heats up. Even though Bleecker Street works in the spring very, very well, for me, it's a joy to wear in the heat. I love the scent cloud that this gives me. It is so refreshing, so lovely, and so different from anything else in my collection. Number 2, whether you like it or not, and my number 1 summer niche fragrance. If you've been rolling with me for a while, if you're a true Royal family member, you already know. It's Renaissance by XERJOFF. Now, similar to Beach Hut Man, Renaissance is a green summery fragrance. But unlike Beach Hut Man, Renaissance has more freshness to it because not only does it use mint beautifully, but it's coupled with citrus. The citrus in here is so inviting, so natural, and the dry down is less about vetiver and more so about petitgrain. Petitgrain is another fresh green note that is often paired with citrus, and it's a lot lighter and easier to wear in the warm weather than a vetiver fragrance. Renaissance has so much nuance, it executes mint so perfectly, and it performs really, really well. This is a major compliment getter. I've gotten unsolicited compliments from fragheads and plebs. I also can see Renaissance being worn by men or women, so it has a lot of flexibility, and it's one of those perfumes that helps me look forward to summer even more than I already do. The best niche summer fragrance in my collection is easily Renaissance. So what's nice about these lists, guys, is I get to tell you what I like. Hopefully I've introduced you to some fragrances that you wouldn't necessarily think would be good in the summer, but work really well on me. And if you think I'm full of it, you know what I mean by it, that's okay too, because I have my opinion, you can get your own. Really, James? Yeah, really. What's your #1 summer niche fragrance, guys? And if you like top 10s, you can check more out here, and perhaps some of my old top 5s from back in the day. Whatever you want.